doing, everyone? And welcome to this special episode of the Isaac Hayes Show, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, and yes, we talk about the pursuit of happiness. And we show you and everyone in the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week. Welcome to Facebook and YouTube to the live stream. We already got some viewers in. We also are on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit the follow button, depending on the platform you are listening on. And today we do have some politics we will be talking about, but we are going to go ahead and talk about the event we are at today here in Kenner, Louisiana. We are at the Maga Fest 2024 Mega Fest Leaders Summit. I will be speaking at 5:50. But we got some great speakers today. We got Mr. William Wallace from William Wallace in America. We have Representative John, Senator Mike Foster. We have a few people that are going to be talking today, and the event starts at 9 a.m. So if you're in the New Orleans area or the Kenner area, go ahead and come and check us out here in Kenner, Louisiana. It's about 2 hours where we film from. If you notice, we are not live in the in BGS Media Studio, and you probably could hear people all around us. And we already got FWR in the chat. He said hello. We got the Chunky Cajun on the TikTok live. You have to share the program, ladies and gentlemen. Share the program, tell people about it. But we have a great day lined up. We will be here all day. We will be taking interviews later on. We're hoping to get Mr. William Wallace later on. He is running around. The event starts at 9 o'clock, so we're probably going to end before that. But if you have an opinion, or if you want to say something to your beautiful hosts, go ahead and calm down. And look, we don't have LB in the house today. LB was supposed to be here, but that's okay. We got my brother Anthony Hayes. He is the camera guy today, and we have this all set up. We trying something new here. We're also on Rumble Studio. So first time being on Rumble Studio, and I'm just excited. We have some sponsors. Debbie Valou, State Representative District 9. We have Elbert Guillory. We probably will be seeing Elbert Guillory pretty soon. I think he speaks today. But Elbert Gilley, he'll be speaking at 7:15 tonight. Real good friend. He's running for Congress in the 6th district. Elbert is a real good friend. We had him on when he was running for lieutenant governor here in the great state of Louisiana. And I thought today what we could do is we could talk about some things that happened in the week that I couldn't get into the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday show. Busy week. We had the hurricane that happened, and we had a lot of stuff go on with Israel. I covered the debate on Wednesday. What a debate. People are still talking about the vice presidential debate that happened last Tuesday. Real interesting stuff. You know, me and my brother, we had a 2-hour ride over here, and we were talking about the debate and how people in the mainstream media are still saying that Waltz won that debate. Jake Tapper came up and said, man, if we were judging this debate like a normal debate, Vance would have won, but we're not judging this as a normal debate. And I'm like, how are you judging it? How are you judging this debate? How can you sit there and say Waltz won that debate? It's just impossible for you to think Waltz won that debate, ladies and gentlemen. There's no way you can go ahead and say Waltz did. And I gave him credit. I gave him credit on the climate change issue. I think he did a real good job bringing out their position on that. But ladies and gentlemen, it was just bizarre to me that the mainstream media would say, hey, Waltz won that debate. But if you're on Facebook, not on Facebook, if you're on Rumble and you're on YouTube, if you're on the live stream on TikTok, go ahead and give me your opinions on that. Do you think Waltz won, or do you think Vance won? Because look, Vance handled the issues very, very well. Very, very well. And, I just don't understand what was going on. Again, we had the hurricane issues. I'm lining up an interview for one of the week shows where we're going to have somebody that was in the heart of the storms that went out there, and it's devastating what's happening in North Carolina, Tennessee. And the storm was bad. Don't get me wrong. The storm was bad, and people need help out there. So if you can, Samaritan Spurs and great others. But the government isn't that much around. I'm saying isn't that much around. And like I said, we're going to get more into that next week when I'm going to have this guest on and we're going to talk to him. But it's sad to where our government today, they're telling us, hey, it's okay, we're going to take care of you, and they can't take care of American citizens, but they can go ahead and take care of Ukrainians. They can go ahead and take care of illegal immigrants that come across the board. We're hearing all this stuff about Springfield, and look, what Trump did on the debate stage, talking about them eating the cats and them eating the dogs, that is debatable. You can go ahead and say, man, that's kind of hard. Why did he present it like that? But he got the conversation started. Now we see what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, and it is dear to JD Vance's heart, because JD Vance he's a senator there. He's seen this firsthand. The American government, under the control of Biden and Harris, they have went ahead and just, man, I'm trying to be polite, ladies and gentlemen, but it is scary when the vice president is going to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to give you $750 per household, and we want you to live on that, but you got to go on the internet and you got to go ahead and fill out all the information, and so we know what. These people don't have internet. These people don't even have a house. But the American government is telling, that's okay, we're going to protect you. And look, I'm getting, with this event in Carolina, this event in Tennessee, I'm more and more hesitant to say trust the government. You should know, if the government comes and tells you, hey, we're here to help you, run the opposite way. Don't trust the government. Don't trust the government in your everyday life. Put your faith in the American people. And look, November 5th. This is why we're here today. This is why we're here at this summit, this leadership summit. We have people, we have vendors all around here, ladies and gentlemen, that are trying to show the American people that we need a change in leadership. And we hear this all the time. I'm big on this. Harris, Biden, and Walz, they're saying, well, Trump's going to do this, Trump's going to do that. Like he's going to go ahead and cause World War III. Well, we basically are in World War III. I talked about it on Friday's show, how everything that's going on right now, we're on the verge of World War III. And we need a change in leadership. And this is why we're here. This is why we are trying to tell people that they need to change their vote. They don't need to vote Democrat. They need to vote Republican down the line. We have a lot going on, like I said, this week. And, I got some stories here I could not cover, and I thought it'd be pretty neat to do it on this live stream. And if you have any questions or you have any comments, I don't have anything right now on TikTok, but if you want to go ahead and comment on TikTok, your view and what you think is going on. So last week we had Donald Trump attend the Alabama-Georgia football game. Now, it is Saturday here. College football is going to be kicking off pretty soon. My Tigers are off today, but my Cajuns are playing in a few minutes. In a couple of hours, and they're playing. I believe it's Sudden Miss. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. I'm pulling for my Cajuns, but when a celebrity shows up at a football game, you can really tell how much people like him or dislike him. Okay, Boogie, you're sitting here right now. Taylor Swift shows up and everybody goes, ah, they so-called like Taylor Swift. But the football teams or the broadcast team, they go ahead and they try to show everything that's going. They try to show them people because, hey, it helps out. It helps out with the ratings and whatnot. But Donald Trump showed up to this football game, and when he was introduced on the Jumbotron. And Alabama and Georgia, man, this is Alabama and Georgia. It's one of the biggest football games in the nation last week. And they cheered. They went ahead and they were applauding him. And they were saying, USA, USA. Listen here. Put Kamala Harris in that same football game. It's hardly nothing. Now, we do have someone that said, Jason M. said, I was at the game and heard a lot of boos in my section when they put him in on the Tron. So see, there's somebody that's there. They're saying, look, we were there and they gave him booze. I look, Jason, I'm not going to say there was not booze there, because everybody in Georgia probably does not like Donald Trump. And it was at the Georgia. It was in Georgia. So I know everybody's not there. There probably is some booze out there. But what we're getting from the media, there was mostly cheers. And look, you can put Harris in a stadium in Georgia and people probably go ahead and cheer for her too. And you probably hear a lot of boos as well. But I'm glad. See, that's why I like live content. But I can speak with the audience, man. And Jason M., thank you for joining us today. So go ahead and keep commenting, my friends. Let's go ahead and swipe that. There we go. I can see the comments a little better. All right, so we have Booth 666. No man has ever went broke overestimating the ignorance of Maga JD Vance. I'm not understanding what that is. So not even so much that it was booing Trump, but just that I didn't want politics with sports. Okay, so that's a good gateway into something else, politics and sports. You know, people will say this. Okay, let's go right here, Boog. Let's stay with this comment for a second. They don't want politics in sports. When Trump shows up, we shouldn't have politics in sports. We shouldn't go ahead and talk about politics in sports. But what about Colin Kaepernick and the flag incident a few years ago? What about uh, uh, football players and basketball players making political stunts? Okay, I don't think now, Jason. I don't think, I don't know if you're a Trump supporter or not. You just made another comment saying would do the same for Harrison Wilts. Great. So you're on the same page. Look, hey, don't bring Harrison Wilts into a football game. Don't worry about Donald Trump. Don't mix sports and politics. And look, these individual people, they can vote the way they want. I don't care about that. But when I sit down and watch a football game, I'm not sitting down to watch anything with politics. Look, if you follow my show anytime, Jason M, I talk politics throughout the whole week. My brother's sitting right here and we do a podcast together. How many times we talk about politics on Brothers Just Searching? We don't talk about it that much because that's not for that scenery. It's a Bible. Now we do talk about it every so often if it relates to something like that. So it's remember when Trump said he defends Diddy? I laughing my rear end off. Imagine supporting Trump. Okay, I didn't hear nothing about that. I don't know what Donald Trump said about Diddy, and I'm not even worried about Diddy. Diddy did something wrong. He needs to go to jail. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. If Diddy did something wrong, he needs to go to jail. Got 4 people in the chat right now. Go ahead and share the live stream with your friends and your family. Again, we got 4. Jason M in here, Ronnie, Rain, got a few people on here. It's pretty slow on Rumble this morning. I'm surprised it's pretty slow on Rumble. They're waking up. But hey, they get to wake up to a good looking host like myself. Well, they're waking up, right? They're waking up. So, but we're gonna go ahead and take a break. We're gonna go to the background and we're gonna try to get some guests in here, man. We're gonna try to get some guests. Let's talk to a few vendors and see what they're doing here. So we'll be right back in a few moments. Pretty good.
Thank you.
All right, so we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Someone in the comments said it's really hard to see the comments with the yellow background. I'm sorry, we it's kind of hard. We are on site today, but thank you for commenting, Jason M. Somebody said Trump went to the Diddy party 100%. This stuff they TikTok is very interesting, I promise you. Anyway, so we are live once again here at the Maga Fest Leadership Conference Summit in Kinder, Louisiana, and I have the honor and privilege of I met you earlier. I don't even get your name.
Rhonda Kate.
Miss Rhonda K. From American Patriots Relief. Miss Rhonda, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So first off, how do you hear about the event, and why you here?
One of our board members was contacted by Clay.
Can you move up a little bit closer to the mic? Thank you.
Was contacted Clay, who then contacted me.
Okay.
And then, of course, the hurricane hit, so it was canceled. So
Right.
Clay and I were in communication and rescheduled, and so here we are.
Amen. Well, so what is American Patriot Relief?
American Patriot Relief is a nonprofit organization that was founded by two J6ers, Jaleese Middleton and Mark Middleton. They were at the Capitol that day. They were praying. They were huddled in prayer, and they were attacked by police.
Wow. Now did they go into the Capitol?
No, they never went past
Okay.
any barricade, did not cross any police lines, nothing. They were literally huddled in prayer
Okay.
and started being attacked by police.
Wow. So
And-
so they were charged with anything?
Oh yes, they. Every time you don't take a plea deal by this tyrannical regime, they add charges.
Wow.
So they were convicted of 4 felonies and 5 misdemeanors.
So are they currently in prison, or are
No,
they still
right now
fighting
they're
it?
on home confinement.
Okay. And this is the thing about, I have a good friend. He does a show called Two Mics Live. He was at the Capitol that day. And you see a lot of people when they talk about the Capitol, all you see from the mainstream media is the people going in and getting to the Capitol. There were thousands upon thousands that did not go into the Capitol. But if you listen to the media, if they were just there, oh, they're insurrectionists. And it's sad that we've come to that point
Yes.
in America where there was, look, don't get me wrong, there was some things that happened on January 6th you can question, no doubt in my mind. But for people that were like in your situation, just praying, and they're arrested, it's sad.
Yes, it is. When you get to this point, you have to wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
What's going on with our country. It's atrocious. And what mainstream media does is they show if you will watch closely, they show the same 5 clips over and over and over. They don't show you anything else.
No, they don't show you what really happened a lot that day, because Dan Bongino's good for it. There's a couple of other people that are good for it. They show that some of these people went in there and all they did was take pictures. They just never went to the Capitol before, and they were in awe. And like I said, there was a lot that happened that day. And there was some wrong done by both sides. I'm not, I better say that, be careful, because they use that on Trump all the time,
Right.
So, but you have to look at every circumstance different. And for a lot of these January 6th victims, unfortunately, like I said, your case, they use that hey, we're going to convict them and we're going to go ahead and stop this movement. Now, we did have a question from Jason M. He said, what were the charges and names? Would love to read about the trials.
The charges, one of them was the 1512, which of course has since been dropped. But let me tell you what they're doing with that. They're enhancing time on all the other charges so that even if the 1512 gets dropped, your time in prison does not go down.
Wow. So they can find all these stories at American Patriot Relief, correct?
Yes, you can go to American Patriot Relief. You can also go to stophate.com.
Okay.
They have a lot of documentaries. I highly recommend the best documentary I have seen to date is The War on Truth.
Okay.
You can go online and find that. Excellent documentary. Be ready to cry, because some of the things you're going to see We might as well be in Russia.
Wow.
It is completely atrocious.
Well,
It's
and this
atrocious.
is why, a lot of people, including myself, would say, what has Harrison Biden has done for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is nothing,
Exactly.
except, tyrannical government. And look, me and my brother was talking about it this morning. Waltz went on the vice presidential debate stage the other day and said if Trump gets elected, they're going to go ahead and go after their political opponents. And I'm like, how hypocritical can you be? The January 6th people that were there, they are suffering. Two Mike's Live had a guy the other day, an army veteran, served our military in Afghanistan, and he is going to jail. You
There
have
are
your
more veterans than you can imagine that are currently in, and we call it the DC Gulag. The reason we call it the DC Gulag is because it might as well be a Russian Gulag. The prisoners in there, they are tortured, they're beaten, their food is tainted with glass cleaner, and that's the best thing I'll tell you that it's
Wow.
tainted with. That's part of American Patriot Relief is we provide commissary to the inmates so that they can at least get some decent food. Um, they have been sprayed with bear spray and left in their cells with no water, no working toilets, no way to wash it off.
And these are personal stories, because some people will say, man, this y'all just making all this stuff up. No, these you're probably hearing from the victims
Oh,
themselves.
absolutely, 100%. Last winter, when it got cold, they wouldn't turn the heat on in the gulag. And so there was a call to action, and thousands of people called the marshal service, the prison, the congressman, and finally at least got the prisoners' blankets.
Wow. I'm gonna have to get you in touch with Two Mike's Live because you would love Mike Calderese. Mike Calderese loves this topic. But on that note, it's just not the Gen Sixers that are having these issues. People are going to jail because they singing hymns and praying in abortion clinics.
That's right.
The Biden administration, I don't care how you say it, they have went after their political opponents. They have went after
100%.
their people.
100%.
And look, we're at a MAGA fest right now. Donald Trump alone, 97 felony counts. And then this week we had Jack Smith conveniently get his indictments released to where the public can see, and the media is using this as gospel now. Oh, look what Trump did. Look what this is all done by the Justice Department. And unfortunately, look, we've been enlightened. We're Republicans.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
but
exactly right.
some Democrats, they're just so blinded by the D behind the name. They don't know what's really going on. And it's a sad case where you're trying to explain to them, but unfortunately, they don't go ahead, and it's like they don't want to listen. They have their hands in their
Exactly.
ears. It's sad. So
And also, what American Patriot Relief does is we also help the families that are still at home. We'll help with food, bills, car repairs, house repairs, whatever they need, the school clothes, school supplies, whatever the family needs at home, we do our best to try to help them. And we are 100% volunteer run. Nobody gets a paycheck, and
Okay.
we don't even get reimbursed for our travels. We do it all on our own.
you're doing a good work. You're doing
Well,
a good
thank
work
you.
to help these victims. And now we're gonna get to some more serious stuff though.
Sure.
You did come up to me earlier, and I told you I was from Louisiana, and you asked for some good boudin, so I gave you a good place. So, but this is your first time in Louisiana, or
We've passed through Louisiana several times because our daughter and son-in-law lived in Florida. He was in
Okay.
the Navy, and he was stationed at Whiting Field.
okay?
And so we've made several trips through Louisiana.
You need to stop at Crawfish Town, USA, then in
Oh,
Henderson,
okay.
Louisiana. They got some good food, and we're true Cajuns. I'm not trying to offend anybody that's watching from New Orleans or somebody that has been in New Orleans, but a lot of people, when they think of Cajun food, they go to New Orleans. I'm sorry, no, Lafayette, Louisiana is the place.
Okay.
Breaux Bridge, Henderson, Lafayette, Karen Crow, all that's the real Cajun food.
Oh,
I'm just
nice.
saying that's the
Okay.
real Cajun food you need to try right there.
I will
So
keep that in mind.
look, we
Absolutely.
believe if you put tomatoes in your gumbo, you're not really Cajun. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry. So we, but that's how it's going, But we're happy to have you in the state. We're happy to have you here, and thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Miss Rhonda, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet
Miss
you as
Rhonda from
well.
American Patriot Relief. Please go check them out and help out the cause there. We'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. We will have a guest in a few moments. Embassy for Warriors, Mr. Kirk, will come and talk. And you come to these events and you meet a lot of cool people. Show this in the live stream. Look at that. It's a gospel track. I never seen this before. Never seen it like this. I've seen this, but I've never seen the gospel message like this. So while we're waiting on Mr. Kirk, and we got a few minutes to talk, let's go ahead and dive into another topic that I had and I just never got never got to in the week. I briefly mentioned it on one of the shows, and it is that California is suing Catholic hospitals over allegedly refusing to provide abortions. I briefly touched on this the other day. This is another reason why we need President Donald Trump back in the White House. Donald Trump believes that the abortion should be to the states. At the same time, though, Catholic hospitals, Christian organizations, they do not agree with abortion. And these states are trying to force hospitals that go against their beliefs. And look, California has been in the news a lot this week because just not that California is suing these Catholic hospitals, but California is getting sued as well. If you remember, California state went ahead and passed a law where you cannot make fun or make certain videos with AI and whatnot. And the Babylon Bee is suing California because that's half of their content. Half of their content is making videos, making fun of people like the politicians. So, Mr. Kirk, if you want to come around this way, so we have Mr. Kirk from Embassy for Warriors. Embassy for Warriors, and Mr. Kirk is in with us right now. Mr. Kirk, welcome to the Isaac Hayes Show live stream.
Thank you.
So glad to have you. So what is Embassy for Warriors?
Amnesty for Warriors is an organization that wants to free our soldiers that were wrongly convicted. The two guys I'm especially here for are Robert Bales and Calvin Gibbs, and they have been locked up in Leavenworth Prison. They're there for life. They defended our country. So what we're trying to do is get the word to President Trump, because we believe he's going to be elected, and on January 20th, that day he will grant amnesty to the soldiers that are wrongly imprisoned in Leavenworth Prison.
So we just had American Patriot Relief. They were talking about the Gen Sixers being in there, being in prison for for what happened at the Capitol and wrongly accused. What did these soldiers do to be put in prison?
Well, the short version is you can go to amnestyforwarriors.com, get the whole story, because it has
A lot
different
of
things to
details.
it. But one of the things that I've personally been talking with Robert Bales, we'll call him Bob, every week I get a call from Leavenworth. We talk about 30 minutes. And say that, I just lost my thought. I was looking over there. I looked at my screen. What was it again?
What they're in prison for?
Okay. So Bob did a preemptive strike on an Afghan village. Again, you just go to amnestyforwarriors.com, and he was, without really a trial, he was put in prison for life. They just,
Wow.
I believe Bob told me there are five people that called the shots on that, and they gave him prison for life. Took everything away from him. He lost his everything, all his benefits. He's married to his wife Carrie. He's got 2 kids, and it's truly a sad story. But it's a powerful testimony about him. He fought for our freedom, and that's all I know. In war, there are things that go on. So
Yeah, and a lot of people. This is bringing it to Israel. This is why a lot of our politicians on the left, Israel is doing wrong because they're going after these terrorists and all that, and we don't want them to hurt civilians. But unfortunately, in war, you're going to get that. You're going to get friendly fire. You're going to go ahead and hit something. And look, we don't endorse it. Don't get me wrong. You try to stop violence, but especially if you were done if you had an order from a superior. and they do that. That's what makes it sad. There's people higher up that gives order and they don't get no accountability whatsoever, but our poor soldiers that go there to fight for us are just, they're forgotten.
Right. One of the craziest things I heard is of another soldier who was imprisoned in Leavenworth, who actually took out some combatants coming at him at his troops with a suicide bomb. And the rules of engagement said you had to be shot at before you can shoot at them. Let me caveat over here to Bob Bells again. When he was in front of the people convicting him, the prosecutors against Bob Bales flew in 9 Talibani terrorists that we had freed. So they went back and got them. They flew him in on I believe it was Delta Airlines jet, commercial jet, like you and I could have been sitting in a seat. They flew them in under the guise of being farmers. And when they came in, so they had 9 of them, 5 of them, the DNA matched DNA found on bombs that killed U.S. soldiers.
Wow.
So
it's and that was done by
us.
our government.
Yeah, our government.
Well,
Our government.
It's funny, you bringing up that, because how many times has that happened? President Biden earlier in the week asked Israel, please don't go after the nuclear plants. And I'm thinking, what did he invest in the nuclear plant? The Iranian deal, to where we sent pallets and pallets of cash to the Iranians to basically take out Israel. That's supposed to be our allies. And it's just sad the way our government is run right now. And I think it's just ignorant people that don't know what they're doing. We've seen it in the vice presidential debate, even in the presidential debate with Harris and Trump. You saw that Harris couldn't answer a question. And you told me earlier you're a believer of Jesus Christ. You're a worship leader. I'm a youth pastor, and I'll be talking about that tonight. We do have a political problem in this nation, but I think far worse, we have a spiritual problem, and that is releasing the political problem we have. Because if you look at Israel, all their kings that served God, the nation was blessed. But when the king turned around, and he did not serve God, guess what? The nation fell.
That's right. And as far as I see it, we're a godless nation, getting more and more. That's why we got to get the gospel out.
Yeah,
the good news.
Yeah, and I showed you track a while ago. Like I said, I never seen the front. Yeah, I've seen $1 million bill track, but this is pretty neat, and it gives you the gospel message. Where will you go when you die? Yeah. And that's what a lot of people worried about this presidential election. And look, as Christians, we should be worried about it because this is our freedoms on the line. But at the same time, we need to pray for a revival in this nation.
Amen.
And I think if revival hits Washington, the problems that you're having at your table and all the vendors here, a lot of this will be cleaned up. And a lot of people ask me the question, as a Christian, I want to ask you that, why you're voting for Donald Trump. Me personally, I don't agree everything with Donald Trump, but the principles and the platform of the Republican Party line up more with God's word.
Right.
And that's why I'm voting for Trump, because the platform of the Republican Party is more on God's word. So as a Christian, how did you come to your decision to vote for Donald Trump?
Well, just about, and I know it's a big hot topic, the abortion issue, but the Democratic Party, they're definitely, to me, godless about all that. They don't value the sanctity of human life at all. So, and then I look at Donald Trump's children, how they speak, how they carry themselves. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I put a Trump sign in my yard. Big one.
Yeah.
So, in my neighborhood. So.
And you're about an hour away in Viora there. So God help you, because I'm more in a conservative now. The other day, it shocked me. I was passing a house and I saw Harris for president. I did, huh? I said, what? Wait, in my neck of the woods?
Yeah.
So, in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, it might shock a lot of people, but Baton Rouge and New Orleans is heavy liberal and heavy Democratic. So, but, we just have to keep on praying and see. I think we're going to have a good night on November 5th.
I think so too. People ask me, I'm a hairstylist by day, so what do you think of the election? I said, he's going in. He's no doubt. I want to caveat again, the thing that I found out about Christians is only 1% to 2% really share their faith. Right. So I'm big on evangelism. I'm big on getting out, getting in uncomfortable conversations, going out. I just got back from California, went out with some people over there, but right here in my own hometown, that's a big thing. So if you can convert the heart, the problem is the heart
Yeah, the heart.
with people for sure. So
Well, and I always bring that point out too when I talk about gun violence. You know, you look, going back to Tim Walz, it's funny. He said, "Sometimes it's the gun." You put a gun on this table right here, it's not gonna go ahead
That's
and
right.
and pull the trigger itself. It takes the individual that has the evil heart.
that's right.
And you know, a lot of people will say, "Well, how do we fix the evil that's happening in this nation, the wickedness in this nation?" What did the Bible tell us to do? Go into all the world and preach the gospel. Why? Because that is the thing that's going to stop the violence. Is going to stop it. It's funny when you get saved, your whole attitude changes. Your whole heart changes. You start living for God. You want to do good because the one that is good is living inside of you.
That's right. That's right. I was at a local park in Baton Rouge, and I go out there real early in the morning on Saturdays, and I play music, set up and play. And people are walking on a track, and a lady approached me, and she definitely wasn't. I could tell she wasn't American. Well, she was from Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
And we started talking. Of course, she was Muslim. And I asked her if she knew what the gospel was, and she said no. So I shared with her.
Amen.
Now, it was hard to communicate with her because of her English, but I just brought the gospel to her. But during that conversation, she said this. She said, "I have migraines." She had migraine headaches. So I said, after I share, I'm coming back around, and I'm going to step in and say, "Can I pray for you?"
Yeah.
So, and when I asked her that, she walked over to me, and I used the name of Jesus, and it was amazing. But we just got to step in, push back our fear. That's what courage is pushing aside your fear and going forth anyway. Now, real quick, I spoke to Bob Bales, who's in Leavenworth
Okay.
prison for life. The U.S. quote, the USA's #1 war criminal. And I said, Bob, what is the thing that you would say to people if you could speak to them face to face? And in a nutshell, he said, if I was a Taliban terrorist, I would have been freed by America to go back to my own hometown and probably carry on acts of terrorism again, but I'd be celebrated as a hero. And Bob said, so here I am. I fought the enemy, took out some enemy, and yet I'm locked up in my own country. I didn't kill Americans. I was killing the enemy against
Wow.
America.
Wow. Sad, but sad
Yeah.
with the time we live in. But nothing that prayer can't fix. So
That's right.
Mr.
Amen.
Kirk, thank you for coming on, man.
Yes.
We,
I'm so glad y'all are
tell
here.
everybody where they can find you, the information for your foundation.
All right, it's amnestyforwarriors.com, and it has the stories of these guys that I'm representing today. You get more information there, amnestyforwarriors.com.
Amen. Well, we'll see you next time. We're right across, so we should be seeing each other. So we waving. Mr. Kirk, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was Mr. Kirk for Amnesty for Warriors. If you can, go ahead and check that out. We are at the Maga Fest Leadership Summit here in Kinder, Louisiana. If you are in the New Orleans area or surrounding areas, an hour away from Baton Rouge, ladies and gentlemen, you can go ahead and come join us here. Come by, stop at the booth, talk to us. We are doing live streaming here for most of the day. The event has just kicked off, and we will be having some speakers shortly. William Wallace, they will have an opening prayer and pledge, and then there's a few things going on. There will be a panel at 10:50. We will have a break at 11:40, but we got some good speakers lined up today. And yours truly will be speaking at 5:50. That is the slot they gave me. I have 20 minutes, and I am excited and announced to be doing that. I'll be opening tonight's event after Clay. I hope I'm saying his name right. Can Glajus. I hope I'm saying his name right. But yeah, I am speaking at 5:50, opening up, and my good friend Albert Guillory will be here as well. We're gonna try to get Albert later on tonight. We will not be live all day. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and film some interviews, and we will put them on Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok, and all that good stuff. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and in the live stream. We've been here for about an hour, and we'll come back live later on. We'll get some more guests and also film some interviews to go ahead and put on YouTube and Rumble. I want to thank Rumble Studios for allowing me to do this whole. I never tried Rumble Studios before. Let me know how you like it. And sorry about the background, but we're excited. We're blessed. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the follows. We will see you next time here on the Isaac Hayes Show. So please hit that subscribe button and follow button. We'll see you next time.